Hey everyone, it's Rogue Rage from Final Turn here with my teammate and friend, Kevin Castillo. He's going to take us through his deck profile of his Tachikaze deck that he ran today. Yeah, so go ahead.
Thanks, Carlos. What's up, guys? My name is Kevin, and yeah, like he said, I'm doing a deck profile. So I'm doing a starter right now, and then I'll go from triggers to ones to twos to threes, and then the stride, and then I'll show you combos in the end of the video. So the starter right now, his name is Baby Cameron. What he does is that it's a G-Break 1 skill. Well, he's a 5K. It's a G-Break 1 skill. He has a full runner ability. What he does is that when he gets put from rear guard to drop zone, I counterblast 1. And what is it again? Alright, I counterblast 1. I search my deck for a grade 1 unit and from my deck, and then I automatically call to rear guard, and that unit gets plus 3K. So he's pretty decent. Well, I'll still end of turn. So he's really decent. He's actually one of the key cards to one of the bigger combos later in the video. So that's 1. And my trigger lineup is 6 crit, 6 draw, and obviously 4 heals. So I'll show you the draws first. So 6 draw. These 2 are just normal vanilla draws. The other draws are 4 of the one where you put into the soul and you give a unit plus 3K. So that's pretty decent. So 6 draws, I like the draw power, so I like keeping it like 6 and 6. So that's that. Next is 6 critical triggers. Oops. So I run 4 of this guy. Well, I don't really know the names, so I'm just gonna point. So he's a 4K critical trigger. What he does that he has skill, it's an axe skill. I can put him into the soul, and then unflip 1 damage. The other one is 2 of this guy. What he does is that, okay, I need to have a certain Vanguard with the word Gaia and Incarnate. What he does is that when my Vanguard's attacking, I can put him into the soul and give my Vanguard plus 5K, and I draw 1 card. So I'd rather have this just so I can unflip, because this deck counterblasts a lot, like a shit ton, so that's why I use this more. That's why I have 4 ahead. And the next is just normal 4 heal triggers. So just simple 4 heal triggers, just like in every deck. If you don't have 4 heal triggers, then something's wrong with you. So there's that. Now for the grade 1s. 3 Savage Heroine. She's a grade 1 6K beat stick. She's pretty much my main starter. Every time I go into like right into my grade 1, I always like to go into her. Reason why? Because there's other grade 1s that I want to save for later. So what she does is that she has, well, a lot of the cards in my deck, they have the word Engorge. What this does is that it's a special kill that only Tachikaze has. What the Engorge ability does is that when I attack, I can, whether it's Vanguard or Rear Guard. When I swing at the Vanguard or Rear Guard, I retire one of my own units, and the unit that I'm attacking is considered engorged. So she has the Engorge ability, and then she has a really, really good skill whenever, yeah, she gets plus 3K for each unit that's engorged, including herself. So pretty much if I engorge her, she becomes a 9K. And if she's my rear guard and my rear guard's engorged, she becomes a 12K beat stick easily. And it works whether she's Vanguard or rear guard, so it really helps. Now the stars of my grade 1s are these guys. Cold Dragon Freezernix, he's a grade 1 7K. I abuse him a lot. That's why I run 4 of him. You need to run 4 of it. What he does, that it's a G-Break 1 skill. What he does is that, first of all, I need to have a certain Vanguard with the word Gaia Incarnate. What he does is that when he's put into the drop zone from rear guard, when he's put into the drop zone from rear guard, what he does is that I get to soul charge 1 card and then counter charge 1 card, and I get to give any unit I want plus 2K. So like I said, his deck is really counterblast heavy, so you need to run 4 of him. And he's also like a good booster. He's a 7K, so why the hell not? And you need to run 4 of them just because you can unflip like a motherfucker. So at the same time, just soul charge, you're keeping up with your soul, because the deck soul blasts a little bit, but it counter blasts a lot more. So you want to keep unflipping. I forgot what it's called. Soul charging, or no, not soul charging. You know what I mean. And also while you're doing it, you give a unit plus 2K. So from a 9K to 11K, that's enough to take down like a Vanguard for a swing. So he's the main star right here. Next, for Prison Bird, he's a stride fodder of the deck. So everyone knows what a stride fodder is. You know, he counts as a stride pretty much for a grade 3. And then just like any other stride fodder, you can, when you call him, choose a grade 3 card from your hand, reveal it, search your deck for a Gaia card, and then add it to your hand, and then discard a card. So stride fire, because this deck, in order for you to win, pretty much you gotta stride, pretty much. So that's why I went a full play set. So 4 of that, and you're good. Next, just like with any other deck, you need perfect cards. So 4 Savage Guardian, 6K beat stick. Nothing really much to be said here. He's a 6K perfect guard. What he does that, you know, when you put him to guard, you discard a card and the attack is automatically nullified. And if you have a copy of him, or her, I'm sorry, you counter charge 1.
Vanguard cards have no, Vanguard units have no gender, as stated by Bushiroad.
Yes. Well, she's a female, so why not? I call her her.
No, whoa. In today's day and age, that could be offensive.
Oh, God.
Yeah, especially like trans.
Moving on.
Shouldn't you let it
My
choose?
grade 2s. Alright. So these guys, I only play 2 of them because the problem was that it's a really, really high cost in order for you to actually do the skill. So, what's it called? Bladedragger, Jigsawsaurus. He's a grade 2 9K. What he does is that it's an auto rear guard skill, but it only works when he's at G-break. The reason why I run 2 of them because of his skill. When I'm attacking the Vanguard, I believe. Yeah, okay. I can only activate this skill when I'm attacking the Vanguard. He also needs to be boosted, and I gotta make sure I have a unit to retire, and I have to counterblast 1. So a big cost. Like you gotta have like a really good setup for you to actually do the skill. So the skill is that if I'm attacking the Vanguard and I'm boosted, like if someone's boosting behind it, and I retire one of my own units, well, I counterblast 1, retire one of my own units, and then I get to retire any one of my opponent's units, rear guards. And then if I do that, he gets plus 5k. So on top of the boost, he gets an extra plus 5k. And if the attack hits, if it goes through, I draw 1 card. So the reason why I run 2 is because of that skill. It's a pretty heavy cost, and I'd rather go into other things instead of worrying about this. And plus a G-break 1, so I only run 2.
Same color scheme.
Next, I run 2 Beam Dragon Aptomazer. He's a grade 2 9K. He also has the engorge ability. Like I said, when I'm attacking Vanguard or rear guard, I retire all my units, and he's considered engorged. His skill is a G-break 1 skill. This happens the second I call him. One thing is I gotta have the word Gaia in my Vanguard's card in order for me to do the skill. The cost is that I have to counterblast 1 and soul blast 1, and then this unit gets plus 2k, so it becomes 11k. And he also gets another skill. If I engorge, he gets an extra plus 5k, and I draw 1 card automatically. So he can be from a 9k to a 16k without boosting, just by counterblasting and soul blasting. So I really run 2 of them, mostly because of that. In order for this skill to work, I have to call him. So I'd rather just go into like other stuff than do this. So that's why I only run 2. It's no really to run 4. Plus I already have 6 draws, and I draw with this guy as well. So that's why I only run 2. Next, I run 3 Tank Mammoth. He's a grade 2 AK guy. What he does is that it's a pretty simple skill, it's an auto skill. This is not G-break. This happens whenever he gets put into a drop zone. I counterblast 1, soul blast 1, and he comes back and he gets plus 3k. So the main reason why I kind of don't like him that much is because he's an AK, which kind of screws everything up for me. Because mostly everything is grade 2 9k, and you can't really touch the Vanguard with this. So he's an AK, which sucks. But he comes back as 11k. He's actually one of the key components actually doing a really, really big skill later. I'll show you guys later. So I run 3 of him mostly because of the big combos I can do with him. Last grade 2s is for these guys. Explosive Dragonsarcoma. He's a grade 2 9k, and he's pretty much silent top. What he does is that he also has the engorge ability, and when I engorge, whether he's Vanguard or rear guard, if I engorge, my opponent cannot call grade 0s from the hand to the Guardian Circle. So pretty much, whenever I get triggers, I boost them up to here, and they can't really guard for grade 0. So I pretty much take out their perfect guards for this. So that's why I love him. That's why I run 4 of them, mostly because of that skill. And it's not a G-break, and he works whether he's Vanguard or rear guard, so it's pretty good. Next, my grade 3s. I run 7 grade 3s, so 3 of them is this guy right here, Rage Dragon Tyranno Brute. He's not the greatest grade 3 in the world, but he can be decent later in the game. So he is a grade 3 11k beatstick, and he has the engorge ability as well. And his other skill is when I ride into him. When I ride into the Vanguard Circle, I counterblast 1 and I soul charge 1, and then I search the top 5 cards of my main deck, and out of one of those cards, I get to add a card with the word Engorge and add it to my hand. The other skill is the G Break 1 skill. Oh, this only works when he's rear guard. When I engorge and when I'm at G Break 1, every time I engorge with him, he gets plus 5k for every card retired. So he can become a 16k beater just by retiring 1 unit. So I really don't like riding him though. I'd rather use him as a rear guard. The stars are right here. The stars of my deck, pretty much. This is how I go off easily. Emperor, Dragon, Gaia, Emperor. I run 4 of him. You pretty much need to run 4 of him for this deck. So he's a great 11k, and he also has Engorgeability. He also has a G Break 2 skill. I don't really use it that much. I use him for the Stride skill. The G Break 2 skill is that, I forget. Okay, whenever I use him for the Engorgeability, he gets plus 5k and an extra crit, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is the next one I'm going to tell you right now. When I stride over him, I counterblast 1, and I choose 2 units, 2 units from my hand, and I get to superior call them automatically onto the rear guard. And then I get to choose any 2 rear guards from my, from the field, and they get a special skill. So only once when they get put from the rear guard to the drop zone, they automatically get superior call. So this is pretty much how my deck goes up, pretty much because of that skill. When they die, automatic superior calls. There's no counterblast involved. You're already counterblasting for the stride, so you need to run 4 of them. So that's the whole deck.
Alright, and now onto your strides.
The strides, I'll do the crit elemental first. The first one is air element Sea Breeze.
Broken!
Very, very broken. I actually use this in the tournament a lot. I abuse him. What he does, if you guys are not sure what he does, he's in Fire Collection 3, and he's actually pretty new because Fire Collection 3 just pretty much dropped a few days ago. What he does is that it's a pretty heavy cost on what he actually does. The main thing is that if you're at grade 3 and your opponent is still at grade 2 and did not ride, you can stride over him. He ignores everything. You can still stride over him. So you pay the cost for stride, and you have to discard a card on top of the stride and counterblast 2. And that's pretty much it. So pretty much that's punishment if they want to play the grade 2 waiting game and see what you do. So if they want to wait, oh, I can stride. And they're like, so yeah, he's really, really good. I recommend him like for every single deck just because of this amazing skill. Next, I run Snow Element Blizza. Everyone knows what Blizza does. I don't need to explain much more because now that everything's at 16 for the G zone, why not run him? He can become like 50k easily or something like that. Next, I run the G Guardians. So, as a long name, Iron Armor Chancellor Dimorphalance. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. So the G Guardian, so obviously with the G Guardian cost, I have to discard a heal trigger, obviously. And then, it's not the greatest skill in the world. What he does is that when he's put in the Guardian Circle, if I have less than or equal to rear guards, he gets an extra plus 5k for the shield. So, that's it pretty much for the G Guardian. So, self-explanatory, so moving on. This guy is also new. Destruction Tyrant, Grido Gigant. So I don't usually try to him first. I try to another guy later, but I'll show you that next. He's also in Prize Collection 3. He's brand new. Excuse me. So he has the Engorgeability, and his skill says that whenever he becomes engorged, depending on how many units I retired, he gets plus 5k for every unit retired. On my side of the field. And if I retire at least 3 of my own units, I draw a card, pretty much. So if I want to go up but not that hard, and I want to just add my in, I go into this guy. Next, I stride to him most of the time first. Destructive Equipment, Hamburg Walk. He has the Engorgeability. And this skill says that he has the Engorgeability, so when I engorge, if I retired at least 2 units for the Engorgeability, I automatically retire one of my opponent's units only in the front row, and just randomly he gets plus 3k. So it becomes a 29k pretty much. I'm not sure why they threw that in there. That's actually not that great, but I just like the second skill where I get to just blow up a unit for free. So the next is the Destructive Tyrant Twin Tempest. I only run one of him mostly because of this really, he's a nuke pretty much. He's a G-Break 2 skill. What he does is that when he's finished attacking, I counterblast 2, soul blast 2, and I retire 3 of my units, and then I retire every single rear guard on both players' side pretty much. So he's a nuke pretty much. So if they have like a heavy field and I want to blow it up, I go into this guy, but I rarely go into him. Pretty much he's for like emergencies. The next is that if I don't have like the right combo, if I just want to stride just normally, I go into this guy. Destructive Tyrant Art Trader. So I stride, and then what he does is that when I attack, I retire one of my own units, and then he gets plus 5k. And if the attack goes through, I retire any one of my opponent's rear guards. So if I don't, like I said, if I don't have like a good combo going on, I just go into this guy pretty much. Like if I don't really have much to do right now, if I just want to stride and build up hand, I go into this guy. So the last guys is 4 Absolute Ruler Gluttony Dogma. He's my main basic, he's my game ender, this is it right here. So he has the engorge ability, and the biggest skill I have is this one right here. It's a G-Break 2 skill, so that's one thing. So when I stride, when I attack, yeah, this skill happens only when I attack. So when I attack, I unflip a copy of himself, and I retire 3 of my units for the engorge ability. If I retire 3 units, he gets plus 10,000. But the second skill is that if I have a full field, I can retire all 5 of my units, and he keeps a plus 10k, and he gets to stand back up. But when he stands back up, it's twin drive. So when he attacks, retire everything, plus 10k. So it becomes a 36k by himself. Well, actually, 20. Yeah, 36k by himself without boosting, and it's triple drive. So 1, 2, 3, 4 triple drive. He stands back up. So you get to swing again. You can still engorge. The engorge, you can keep doing it, and you can retire more units. But that doesn't mean anything. But when he attacks, he just twin drives. So whenever I see my opponent having a big hand, or when where I have 4 or 5 damage, this is my game ender right here. So that's usually how I kill them most of the time.
All right. If you guys are still watching, what made you play Tachikaze, Kev? Since this is the only clan you've ever played, correct?
I played Mega Colony once, but then I pretty much got sick of it, and I just went back to Tachikaze.
So what made you go? What drew you to Tachikaze?
Actually, the first deck I ever touched was Oracle Think Tanks. I hated how Oracle Think Tanks worked. This was like all the way when Limit Break was a thing, Break Rides was not even a thing. And then I found Tachikaze, and I just loved the idea of retiring my own units, like sacrificing myself, my own units, but having them come back for more attacks, and then attacking the Vanguard even more for more attacks. I thought was just awesome. And then when I found out about this, I thought it was really good, and like the good support that Tachikaze had, especially with this guy pretty much. So these two go together. So I just love how the way Tachikaze works. I just love the name Tachikaze. I think it's a great name.
All right. So thanks for showing us your deck.
You want to combos?
No, it's fine.
That's fine? All right.
You explained your combos, but thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
I hope you guys sat through the whole video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Sit down with some popcorn and a drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a disclaimer that you should sit down with some popcorn and drink beforehand. Stay tuned for more content. We're gonna be bringing more content back now that the summer's started. We'll be playing more Vanguard. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed.